And we want to welcome our very special guest, Jonathan Ratner.
Hi, Leo. Thanks for the welcome. So, hi, everyone. I have my tie on because I'm coming from a chasana. But I'm really happy to be here tonight to share with you some really important information about crafting an effective CV. And they say that if your CV works, then you'll work. And if it doesn't work, then you won't work. And there's a lot of truth to that. So this is a presentation I've given a number of times, but it excites me sort of because I want to change your whole way of thinking about the job search and then getting a job. When you have an objective, you decided, okay, I want to get this job, and it could be an internship position, it could be a free internship, it could be a high-paid job, whatever it is. But these are skills that you'll need your whole life. And it's when I say changing your thought process, it's something that you've definitely learned during this course, but it's about strategic thinking, tactical thinking. When I do this, what is the other guy going to be thinking? And how can I affect his thinking and get him to think what I want him to think? So you can't just be simple about simple about yourself. A lot of what I'm going to say this evening is from a really great book, a great author. He's a really leading business expert. His name is Bates, and he has knock 'em dead CV, knock 'em dead job interviews, knock 'em dead jobs. He has his brand is called Knock 'em Dead, and he's really good. And he says a lot of times, and I've adopted this, people say, be yourself. And he says, no, don't be yourself. Being yourself, be yourself at home, be yourself with your spouse, with your children, whatever, your mom. At work, be your best professional self, okay? And I think that's really a great piece of advice. Be your best professional self. And that's always going to change because you're always going to be growing and looking to be a better professional. And good professionals are inspiring. And when you meet one, get inspired and learn more and follow them and learn from them and engage with them and ask them to be your mentor. So what we're going to talk about tonight is presenting yourself as a professional. And right now we're not talking about the interview of presenting yourself in person, but presenting yourself on paper. And part of that, of course, will have to do with LinkedIn, how you present yourself on LinkedIn. So the big thing that you got to do is to begin to brand yourself in your own mind. Who am I? Okay. And it's not, a religious philosophical question. It's a professional question. What kind of professional am I? I'm a cybersecurity analyst. I'm a PT guy. I'm a SOC tier 1 analyst. I am an entry-level junior, cyber student. What do you want to say about yourself? What do you want people to think about you? I just had actually a guy from a previous cohort of this course, a really excellent student who I really think is going to go far. And I think even has a master's degree, but a very young man. And he now completed an internship, and he sent me a draft CV, and it was really nice looking, and it had good credentials. His internship, I think he's passed already, Security Plus, but it frankly had a real lot of yeshiva stuff on it. And I told him, get rid of that. It's not relevant. It's confusing. And so we're going to talk about focusing your message for who's going to be reading your CV. Where's this person coming from? What are they looking for? So I haven't started yet. Here comes my presentation. Creating your killer CV, your most important business document, what to say and how to say it to get your foot in the door. Because you'll send your CV, and if it works, you get an interview or an email from somebody. And if it doesn't work, then it's just the end of the story. It's aborted before it even starts. So they say that your CV is your most important financial document. But here's the trick. How long will a person look at it? And the answer is an astounding number of seconds, okay? Like 15 or 25 or something like that. So it's got to make a really strong impression of what you want it to do. We're also going to talk about your CV, that it's not going to come face to face with a human being right away. It's going to start, it needs to get past computers. So it has to have the right keywords that the computer is looking for. So let's begin. So I've already started talking to you about what I call the harsh reality, the facts of life. And again, this is from his book, Knock 'em Dead Resumes. His name is Martin Yates. So think of yourself as a company. It's me incorporated. So I need a marketing department. I need a sales. I need, production. I need a whole bunch of different things. But we're assuming now, and this is important, any job that you're applying for, you believe that you can deliver the goods. Okay? Because if you don't, then don't apply, right? So the assumption here is they're looking for something, you understand what they're looking for, and you have it. So now you need to communicate that to this potential employer. Now, the job market is brutal and it favors the other guys because they're the company, they have money, and you want to work for them and make some money. So they have the power, they have the upper hand. And so our class and what we're doing for you right now, this is try to help to level the playing field a little bit, to give you a little bit of understanding in order that you can sort of navigate these choppy waters. So you need to hone a strategy to advance yourself in order to provide for your financial future. That's your business, is to provide for your financial future. So see yourself as a company, and your CV is your key marketing document. It's part of your professional branding, which is going to affect your search, your interview, and your continuing career management. It has to get back to the database and into the hands of the recruiter. Here I wrote 45 seconds. Keep it simple, make it sharp and to the point, because the other guy on the other side, whether it's an HR person or a lot of times we're working with very small companies. So you're going to be talking to the CEO, okay, right away. Your first meeting's with the CEO, and he's a cyber guy, and he doesn't really like human resources. He'd rather be at the screen doing cyber, but he's got to talk to you or deal with you. So he wants to finish this and get back to work. So the person hiring you wants to find the right person for the job and get back to work. So help them find you the right person. Deliver that message. I'm the person you're looking for. I could do this, and this is why, and this is how. And if you deliver that message effectively, then we can all get back to work and start earning money and supporting our family, providing security for our financial future, which is our goal. Okay, so the basics of CVs. Use your CV to show that you understand what is necessary to succeed in the job for which you are applying. And let me now take a time out to explain that in business, in America at least, the customer is king, right? In Israel, it doesn't always feel like that. But in Western culture, the customer is king. Now, in this relationship of you as a cyber professional, the company that you're going to work for, they're the customer. You are selling yourself. You're the product, okay? So you're selling and you want them to buy. So they're the customer. So you got to TLC, you got to think like a customer. So think, what is the customer looking for? And then decide and demonstrate how you're going to deliver that and how you're going to communicate them that you're going to deliver that, okay? So that's what your CV is for. It's to get in the frame of mind. It's a document of marketing, communications, to show that I know what you're looking for, I totally get it, and I have that, okay? And of course, if you don't, then don't apply. But you need to find it in yourself, right? And so this is also important. Don't think that you're going to have one CV and send it to 10 companies. If you send to 10 companies, you'll send 10 different CVs. And I'm just going to give a tiny Dvar Torah here. That somebody might feel, oh, that makes me uncomfortable. I'm lying, or I'm stretching the truth, or I'm changing it, or that's not fair or right. Well, I just learned something last week. Everybody knows that Moshe Rabbeinu wrote 12 Sifrei Torah on the day of his death and gave them to the 12 tribes. Somebody told me last week that from the Sfarim HaKadoshim, that each one of those Sifrei Torah was different. It was different in Chseros and Yeseros, with the Yuds and the Vavs, because the Gemara says we're not Bekiyin b'Chseros and Yeseros. And the reason is because Moshe Rabbeinu already gave different Sifrei Torah to the 12 tribes. I think it's fascinating. And I love that, because reality is really subjective and constantly changing. It has to do with things I'm not going to go into. Let me get back to our topic. Our topic is you need to adjust and tweak your CV for every job that you apply for, because you're going to read what are they looking for, and then you're going to give them back those same words, skills, and preferences that you understand they're looking for, and you're going to show that I have those things. And that's not dishonest. That's called marketing, okay? And if you're just like, oh, I'm Mr. Honest and I just tell it like it is and I say the same thing to everybody, then you're an idiot and they don't want to hire you, okay? So you got to understand the game and you got to play the game. And let me put a little bit of boundaries on that by saying we're not lying, okay? I will never tell you to lie, and you never should lie. Not only because it's us or it's bad ethics, but it's just, it won't work and you'll get caught and it's stupid and you'll get fired and you'll ruin your career. So don't do it, okay? Only use true credentials and only say true things. But I'll give you, but you need to think creatively of how to, package things correctly and how to find your story and what they're looking for. So study all available information on the company, the job, and the relevant issues. So everything that we're learning in the course, and I hope that you're, reading outside resources and on LinkedIn, you're following this one or that. So all that is helpful to get yourself in the right frame of mind, the buzzwords, the words and concepts that you want to include. Because again, I'm talking to cybersecurity professionals, entry-level cybersecurity professionals. That's who you are. That's your world. That's the ecosystem. And you need to show that in your CV. That's why I told this guy, there's so much yeshiva in your CV, like you're confusing me. Are you a yeshiva guy or you're a cyber professional? And okay, I get it that you have a lot of yeshiva education. So that's fine. But show me and emphasize and put up front at the top of the page in the big letters your cybersecurity credentials, the things you know how to do, your internship, your certification, all the things that are relevant and focused for your objective. And that's actually a word that I like to see on a CV, objective, meaning what am I looking for, okay? So that's a good word if you're applying for a particular job, SOC analyst tier 1 or whatever it is, to write in a few words, this is my objective, this is what I'm looking for. So you want to bring in this information, this focus into your CV. Don't be a Swiss Army knife that could do a million things. I like to do this and I like to do that and I'm good at this, I'm good at that. We don't care, okay? Be a human laser, be really focused on the things we need you to do. Tailor your CV to show you have the necessary skills and understanding for this particular job. Understand what the employer is looking for, what are their priorities. Like I said, the employer is your customer, the customer is always right. Then tell them your story in a way that shows that you understand the customer, the company's needs. Okay. What your CV is not. This is something that I came up with, that I've had this, where people send me a CV that tells a whole story and whatever, and I've had even this in sort of job interviews. A person starts telling you, well, my older sister, she used to beat me up, and so I have all these complexes, whatever. And I'm just like, this is ridiculous. Why are you telling me that? So don't use your CV as narrative therapy to tell your life story in a way which makes you feel good. If you want to do that, send it to yourself, but don't send it to the company. Your CV is sales document. Its objective is to get you an interview with the employer, nothing more, nothing less. If you do want to write a CV to make yourself feel good, so send it to yourself, send it to your mom, your therapist, your rabbi, your chavrusa, send it to me. Don't send it to the employer. They're not in business to make you feel good. Let me talk a little bit about business. We're going to see more about it. They're in business to make money. They are not in business to help you support your Bayit Shel Torah, right? Or you have this work-life balance. You can learn Torah, third Seder or first Seder. That's lovely, but that's not their business. They're in business to make money. That's why they opened the company. And they're hiring you either to make more money, to save more money, or to solve problems, okay? Those are the reasons they're hiring you, not for any other reason. So don't talk to them about other stuff. Focus how you're going to make money for them, save money for them, or solve their problems. Because remember, the customer, the employer is king. Okay? We're trying to show them in the CV what they're looking for, not what you want to say. Again, the feel-good document, that's not your CV. Every position you apply for is make money, or save time, increase productivity, like I just explained. Your CV needs to solve the employer's problems by making more money, saving money, increasing productivity. Your CV should tell your story to demonstrate quite specifically how you're going to do it. Other information, it's a distraction. Okay, this guy Yates, he has this concept called TJD, which is a target job deconstruction. Okay, so this is about researching. Again, you're applying to be a SOC analyst or a GRC specialist or a cybersecurity analyst, a cyber intel analyst. Let's say whatever terms that they're looking for, they're advertising that, and you're applying for that job. So you need to research that term and words associated with it, characteristics of people who are successful in it. And then you're going to focus your CV around that deconstruction of this target job, okay? So he talks about taking half a day to do these research, Google the job, understand the industry, template for the story your CV will tell, an objective standard, understanding the focus, interview questions, that's already that. Examples with which to illustrate your answers, that's really important. We're going to talk about what have I done concretely that shows that's relevant to what I'm going to do for them. Okay, and sometimes you don't have anything, and okay, that's also okay. And I know that I'm talking to some people who have obviously never worked in the cyber field before. Some of you are older and do have business experience, and some of you are younger and have really zero business experience. Don't be put off by that. Don't be afraid. That's okay. You're not guilty for being young and inexperienced. That means you're coming with energy and freshness. But you do have to say then, okay, so why should I hire you? And it'll be based on skills, okay, maybe a certification, but also it'll be on your personality and things you have done already in your young life, okay? Behavioral profile. What kind of people succeed in this field? Really warm and friendly people, or really focused, sort of analytical and critical thinkers? Okay, so there's a profile for not getting hired. So be careful not to be that, okay? So collect postings for positions you seek. I will, of course, upload this, this presentation so you could take a look at it because I'm not going to go through everything here. These are good websites for applying for jobs and for learning about jobs that are out there. So I do suggest you go to those websites. Okay, your CV, you can't just put garbage in it. I'm a hardworking, multitasking individual who seeks to help my company succeed, right? Like everybody could say that. That's like garbage. So that's garbage in, garbage out. That's not going to do anything. Your CV has to tell a true and powerful, focused story that expresses your professional branding and answers the needs of the customer, which is the company that they're looking to fill. That's what this puzzle is. Those are the pieces. That's what you got to create. And so it takes thinking. You have to invest time and effort into it, but it actually works. I can tell you personally, I've been around the block a little bit. I'm in my 50s, and there are definitely positions that I was qualified for, and I would have been great, and I didn't get them because my CV didn't say the right things that I knew how to do, but I didn't understand yet at that time this game. And so I wrote things that weren't relevant, and I didn't write the things that were relevant, and I didn't get the job. And I was disappointed, but I was an idiot. It was my own fault. I could have written things, and I would have done better. So you do have to give thought to this, and it does matter. And people who do it right get jobs and do well. So this idea of professional success, which means, besides other things, it does include making a bunch of money, but that also could give you flexibility, could give you maybe if you want to work from home, or if you want to have flexible hours, whatever your professional goals are, and they could be different for different people. Some people don't need to make a real lot of money, or maybe they're rich from the house, whatever. They're looking for, fulfillment or whatever your goals are. That's all okay. But the higher level professional you are, the more focused you are, the more you demonstrate professional skills, that will gain you respect and bring you to success in whatever you do. And it happens to me all the time. I meet people who are professionals and they do great work in whatever they're doing. They design websites, or they're cyber people, or they're lawyers or accountants. And you meet people who are jerks and they don't know how to work, and they're not professional, and they're pathetic and annoying, and you leave them behind, right? You get a different guy. So it's really important to adopt a professional attitude about yourself and your career. And to be honest, it's something we've dealt with a little bit with some of our cyber graduates who we have placed, and we have a lot of wonderful graduates who are doing great work, and their employers can't thank us enough. Okay, we have that, but we also have some people that aren't as professional as they need to be, and they have some bad attitudes of, the word is entitlement. They think, oh, I should be making a lot of money, I'm in high tech, and I should be off, whenever I need to go out on shidduchim, or I have this going on, or my husband's this, or my shviger's this. And people have a bad attitude towards work. So I'm not saying everybody, but you do have to be serious about work, because your employer doesn't care about all your personal stuff. They might like you and they could respect you and appreciate your stuff, but basically they're running a business and they want you to be businesslike and focused on their business. And if you'll do that, then you'll succeed and be great. And we have a lot of wonderful graduates who are great and professional. So that's really important. Your CV's got to be that, and you've got to be that. Okay, talking about nitty gritty, words that you're going to use, okay? We now know what the customer is looking for. We're going to now look into our own personal history and find it. Examine everything you have ever done from the perspective of your target job deconstruction. Complete a detailed questionnaire on your complete professional past, whatever you've done. Could be volunteer work, it could be informal. Let's say you're going to do cyber training. So have you ever done cyber training? No, but I taught people this, and I taught people this, and I was a camp counselor here, whatever. Show examples of where you did those types of tasks and have those types of skills and were successful in those types of jobs. Use action verbs. Don't just say, I was this, I had that position. Say, I accomplished, I built, completed, created, designed, demonstrated, developed, examined, facilitated, generated, headed, implemented, launched, marketed, negotiated, originated, performed, published, programmed, reduced, solved, trained, upgraded, validated. Whatever the last word is, I can't see. So use action verbs that show you really did stuff, and even try to quantify them by 10%, by 20%, by $30,000, right? Whatever it is, add the numbers so that gives it credibility and show you really did it and you really made a difference. Okay, these are your accomplishments, your achievements, your successes. The CAR format means there was a challenge, there was an action, and there were results. And I will leave you to study this slide on your own time. Okay, next topic, first impressions are important. Graphics help. Some people give me, a really white page with a little bit of black writing, and some people do nice things with different colors. But hello, it's Google, okay? Google CV or cybersecurity entry-level CV template, and you'll get stuff. You'll get stuff that you could buy, but you'll get stuff for free, and so use that. And I, of course, I'm happy to send you some stuff that our students have done in the past. And some of our students worked in graphic design before they took our course, so their stuff is really nice. But even people who, again, are just starting out, we're going to talk about now that a CV does not have to be chronological order. This is what I've done since my bar mitzvah, right? You don't have to tell us that. And if you don't have any experience in the field, so it wouldn't make any sense. I mean, what are you going to say there? So you're going to focus on skills. You're going to have a list of cyber skills that you know, and maybe then you'll have other skills like office skills or general computer skills, as opposed to the cyber skills, which are Kali Linux and Nmap and Wireshark and whatever technical stuff that you know how to do. You did a Python program, okay? So you're going to put in, if you have a portfolio of things you've done, so you want to put that on your CV, you could have a link to it and so forth. So again, your CV should look nice. Sometimes you need a cover letter. Cover letters can be very, very helpful, important, and sometimes they're not even relevant. You just don't have one or don't need one. Someone else is just forwarding your CV. We forward CVs for people, so then you don't really need a cover letter. Your cover letter, if you do have one, it's just a few sentences. Briefly state your unique qualifications for the position. stating how you fulfill the characteristics which they're seeking. Okay, the CV needs to A, maximize your performance in the databases. Like I said, before a person sees it, a computer will see it. So it has to have the keywords. Number two, it has to demonstrate your complete grasp of the job's deliverables. What am I going to have to do for you? And show how I can do them and that I will excel at doing them. Create a professional brand for yourself. It needs to showcase your relevant achievements, attributes, and expertise. 5, minimize weaknesses, which for many of you could be the fact that you have no experience. And again, it's not your fault, but it's not a strength, it's a weakness. So we're not going to have like a big part of the paper that says work experience and then have 1 year or something or nothing. So we're going to leave that out because you only want to play strong cards. You don't want to play weak cards. Okay. So now we're going to see there are 3 major formats of CV. Does not need to be chronological. So formatting your CV, like I said, there's templates online. Google it. The chronological format is the most common. It starts with your current job title and responsibilities and works its way back. If they're relevant job positions, IT or cyber or something close to that, so then give us bullets of stuff you did there and things you know how to do. If it's not really relevant, so then don't give us a lot of detail about stuff that we don't care and that's not relevant. The strength is it's good for showing growth in a particular profession. The weakness is it's not good if you're just out of school or you're changing careers, or let's say you're a mom, you're 40 or something, and you've been home now 15 years raising your kids, which is wonderful, but chronologically on your CV, it leaves a big hole. So don't write it. Don't put those years in. Don't even make your CV chronological. Make your CV functional, which the description is focus on professional skills, target job title, performance career summary, core competencies, performance highlights. It's more free form. It's good for entry-level professionals like us, right, with skimpy experience, or experienced professionals who are changing careers, or people who are returning to work after a long absence, like I said, a mom. It's not as conventional, but it doesn't, they might ask, so what were you doing then? And you'll answer, I was at home as a mom, or I was an avreich in yeshiva, whatever. There's no busha in it, but it's also not a selling thing that you necessarily want to show on your document. You could have a combination of chronological and functional. And before I forget, it does not have to be a single page. If you've been around and you have a lot that you want to tell, 2 pages is fine. What goes in? Include the languages you speak. Languages can be a huge plus. And for our Israeli students, English is a huge plus. The fact that you feel comfortable certainly reading, but also writing English is really important. Okay, military experience, if you have that, anything you've published, any professional associations, certifications, that's a huge thing by us. If you have any certifications, so that's an important section. You don't need titles like CV, resume. You don't need to write availability, salary, age, race, religion, gender, national origin, photo, health, physical description. In cyber, I don't think it's really appropriate to have a picture. If you really want, but usually, look how Leo teaches the whole class and doesn't even show us his face. So you see that pictures aren't important. Judgment call, summer part-time job, references, you could say references available, name change, marital status, written testimonials, personal interest clubs, closing brand statement. Okay, so you might want to include those. Helpful tips, short sentences. Don't use big words just to try to inflate yourself. Eliminate pronouns I. You don't need that. Articles whenever possible. Use bullets. It need not be only 1 page. CV writing websites. How about this? Use your best friend Google. Okay, resumecoach.com, resume.io, Zeti, Enhance, etc., etc. Okay, we have separate presentations that other people have already given about LinkedIn. You can really see them on. I will share them with you. It's important. Your LinkedIn is super important, and depending on where you're holding in life, it is important to open a LinkedIn account, right? And I'm not saying you need a Facebook account, and Facebook can be a big time waster, and maybe you don't want to be there, and that's okay. But LinkedIn is really professional. It's not a place for nonsense. And so I do, I pretty strongly recommend for everybody to open a LinkedIn account as a cybersecurity entry-level professional or whatever title you decide to give yourself, but you need to develop that. And then you need to make sure that your CV and your LinkedIn profile correspond and match up one to the other. But your profile on LinkedIn will be important. It will be looked at. Any employer is going to check you up on LinkedIn, so you need to be there. And of course, you can use LinkedIn to find people and find jobs. So that's a separate thing. Okay, these are online tools, websites of target companies, Israeli high-tech sites, professional forums. Okay, then once you're starting to send CVs, that's just one step of the process, but you got to follow up. After you've sent your CV, they might get back to you, but they might not. So you get back to them. So you need to keep a spreadsheet of when you send your CV to where and save that version of your CV so you know what you sent to them, what you said about yourself, and follow up. Okay, that's my presentation. If you have any questions, I'm happy to take them. Otherwise, I wish you good luck.
Jonathan,
Yes.
so basically same question, but maybe two questions. First of all, you say you should go on LinkedIn, right? I know a lot of students, people told me they found LinkedIn very depressing because all the time it's people saying, I applied to 25,000 jobs, I got one reply, and it's so depressing, you can't get into cyber. And I know that even myself, I was really enthusiastic, but when I went the first few weeks on LinkedIn, I was like, I'm going crazy. And now I hardly go on it, maybe once a week, because it makes me ill. So what do you advise about that?
So, Ruben, in the business world, you need a thick skin, okay? You can't be sensitive and feeling bad or get chalisha sadas from the fact that other people have done this or you reached out and they didn't answer you. Just let it water run down your back. So I agree, looking at it once a week is plenty. You don't have to go there every day and be like that about it. But you need to be tough. Okay, the business world is tough. So you need to sort of grow up and be ready to fight for yourself. And I want to say something about in Hebrew today. There's a word called a fighter, and there's the nekeva form called a fighterit. Okay, and we had a woman from our last cohort, and she's a very Haredi woman. She has 7 children. She gave birth to her 8th child during the course. Okay, so she must be in her mid 30s, upper 30s, and she's looking for a job, and we gave her some guidance, call this one, do this, whatever. And she had a meeting with my wife, and my wife said she's a fighterit. Okay, and so we feel comfortable placing this woman. She's a very Haredi woman. She doesn't have experience, obviously, but she understands that she's going to go to work and she's going to work hard. Her husband's learning in Koilel, and she's the main breadwinner. So she's not going to play games. She means business.
Right.
And so when we introduce her to the CEO, we feel comfortable that you can count on this woman because she needs a parnasa and she's ready to work hard and she's smart and she's technical. And so the fact that a lot of other people they were in Shmona Matayim or they were in Sahal or they did this course and they have that certification and they have this many years, fine. But she's not less than anybody else. She's coming ready to work. So the fact that she's a Haredi woman with 8 kids and she lives in Beitar, but she's a fighterit. She's ready to fight and do what she needs to do to succeed. So when a businessman, when the CEO meets her, he's like, Kol hakavod, I see you're ready to work. And he wants to hire her. So you don't feel inferior or down about yourself. You got to come ready to fight. You have to bring your best game and you got to fight. You got to play to win. So if you're going to let yourself get weak and feel sorry for yourself and, oh, I am a loser and other people know more and they've been more and they have more advantages and I'm this and I can't work on Yontif and Fridays they have to leave early. So, if you're going to feel sorry for yourself, it's not going to go. You have to come with a winning attitude. I'm going to play to win and I'm going to win and I'm going to make it. And we have so many examples of people that are playing and winning, so you really can. And Ruben, particularly, you're a great guy. I hold of you, and you're doing great in the course, and so you can really do it.
They're saying in LinkedIn, it's all the losers that left on LinkedIn. That's what I told other people who complained, that people complaining, they just left on LinkedIn to complain, they don't have a job. So that's the people are working and not on LinkedIn the whole time. That was my theory.
Good theory, Ruben. I like that.
I just want to add, I found success in LinkedIn more than actually applying for jobs, because you apply to something and within like 24 hours, you see there are 400 more applicants and you realize like, wow, I'm just one in a sea. But for networking and connecting, and I think one of the tips on those slides was actually contacting the HR person. So that's been more, I mean, obviously that's also you're still you're in a big sea with a lot of fishes, but the more you do to try to network with people, or that has shown, for me personally at least, more fruit than just applying to the job through LinkedIn.
Well said, Benjamin. Benjamin is also a professional, and he's also going to do great. And I know he had some interviews and doing great. I want to share something about a student from Lakewood, a young Haredi woman. I don't think she's 21 yet, and she does not have a college degree, but she took our course and she took it seriously. And I think she said something like she sent her CV out to 80 companies or 80 different job opportunities, and a lot of them never got back to her. But AT&T did, and today she's working at AT&T, and she's making nearly $100,000. Okay, she's doing great. She's killing it. And how did she do it? Just by showing up with confidence. Yes, wow is right. So she was, she didn't back down. 79 of those opportunities didn't come through, but one did, and it came through really big time. So you got to play the game. The game does work. Those companies are looking to hire people. So you got to make your case and show that I have what it takes, and I'm gonna kill it for your company. So and so forth. So, but I agree with Benjamin that just sending your CV to a million companies of things you find on LinkedIn is only part of the story. You need to feel protectia, and you need to network, and it's your uncle, and it's your cousin, and it's us, of course. We're in your corner, and we're going to send you opportunities, but you got to show up. You got to create your good CV. You need to tweak and polish your CV for each position, and we will help you do that, but you have to be there, and you can't be discouraged. The fact that for 3 months, it didn't work, or you got a job, but it came to an end, and of course that happens, right? This is real life. And just think of shidduchim, right? You could go out on a lot of dates, but a lot of them won't work out because it just didn't work out. There wasn't chemistry. So I can't guarantee you a job or it's going to work out. No, it's a human interaction thing, and it's Kriyas Yamsuf. You need a Kadosh Baruch Hu to make Kriyas Yamsuf for you. So daven, right? The Gemara Nida, what should a person do to make a lot of money? They should make pragmatya, and they should be mevakesh parnasa, misha kesef shalo. So you got to daven, and you got to do the right things. So tonight we talked about the right things, and I trust you know how to daven because you have a good background in that. Any more questions?
Yeah, I had a question.
Yes, Rivka.
You mentioned like to have more targeted on your CV, to not have so much extra things. I always had, and I don't know if it's a contradiction, the idea that like if you're going to put on a CV, say BA with nothing that has nothing to do really with technical or experience in whatever past job, it could show that you're just in general a responsible person, someone who could work harder, someone who could get things done.
Yes. A BA is a very, very valuable credential, even if you studied liberal arts or, Greek mythology or whatever you studied, or Talmudic studies. So, but a BA is a very valuable credential. You definitely want to include it. I did not mean to leave off your BA.
No, not even specifically a BA, more like if you can say I was whatever past job experience, even if it has nothing to do with cybersecurity.
That's for sure true, Rivka. But you have to think creatively to find things you did in your previous job that will relate to cybersecurity, that they'll somehow relate to what you're going to do in this job. And you have to think about that. But you were in a professional environment, or you were in customer service, or you were in training this, whatever it is. You have to think carefully about it. And it may have been 1% of that job, but you did it. And it's going to be maybe now 95% of your new job. But so what? They don't need to know that. The point is you have experience doing this particular task and excelling at it, and you can do it for them. So I'm not trying to take things out and pare down your CV. I want to see a muscular, a powerful CV, okay? Include stuff, but make it relevant, make it powerful. Show me, again, that you have what it takes to succeed in this particular job that you're applying for.
Yeah, sounds good. Thank you so much.
Pleasure. Okay, anybody else? I thank everybody for listening. I'll, of course, upload the recordings. Have a good night, everybody.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Good night.